tracking ICE agents, and the return of Napster. No, really, the return of Napster. This is MacVoices. MacVoices is supported by the MacVoices Slack. Discussions, questions, and answers, and a place to talk tech with your friends. The MacVoices Slack is available to all patrons of MacVoices. Sign up at patreon.com/MacVoices and join in. For the next one, we're gonna tread dangerously into the tech politics thing that we try to be very careful with. So by me bringing this up, I don't want anyone to think that I'm advocating or not advocating for anything. But this I personally found just to be a little bit disturbing that, first of all, that someone developed an application where citizens could report ICE agents in their area. That was, I don't know, that just felt like a bridge too far for me. But,
not a bridge too far at all, but go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Well, yeah. And Jeff, then you get first rebuttal, but that bothered me a lot. If you want to do something like that, post it to social media so everybody can see it, as opposed to categorizing it, down into one app that is specialized. But then the Attorney General came out and I can't find another word, so I'll just say threatened, or maybe tried to intimidate the developer of this app, which I also thought was a bit of a bridge too far. So those are my thoughts on it. Jeff, I'll let you have first shot at me.
Okay, so we have been able to, for generations, tell people in our community when we see the government or agents of the government doing whatever. And even to the point now where it's commonplace and no one thinks a thing of it. If you use Wise, you can have alerts in there that show you where the red light traffic cameras are, where the speed cameras are, where police are set up running speed traps. And I don't see articles about that being controversial. This is the same. And you can make the argument that Wise is a dedicated app that allows you to see what government entities are doing while you're out driving around. You don't even have to be driving. Just take a look on Wise. You can see what's going on. Same thing with this. So let ICEBlock be a thing and let it continue on. The reaction is completely inappropriate for what the United States is supposed to be and what our Constitution says, and coming out and threatening an app developer like this with in any way is completely inappropriate. I am fully expecting to see plenty of articles that talk about our right to free speech and government infringing on that. Okay, I'm off my soapbox for now.
Okay, that's fine. Brian?
Yeah, echoing what Jeff had mentioned, especially with regards to the Wise app, and then even Apple's own Apple Maps, you can go in and report a speed check. And I know it's not exactly the same, but a different thought that I put up there in the private chat there is it's the website to the app that the developer, I believe, posted or has set up, and it says there something I thought was kind of humorous in some of our other discussions about other app stores that in the United States aren't necessarily open, but we see them like as a requirement, I think in Europe, is ensuring that you download the app only from the Apple App Store, because I guess there's some fake versions of this app that are out. And I was looking at the app earlier, and the privacy label that you can kind of see what data is collected. And it says absolutely no data is collected about the individual. There's apparently no like sign up or username or that type of thing to set up. So none of that type of thing, which makes me think, I wonder if some of the ones that might be faked have people log in that information. And given the nature of what this app's purpose is, I wonder if that could lead people into more danger, even more so than just using a malicious app anyways.
Good
I'm
point.
confused. It's an iPhone app. How could it be acquired anywhere other than from the App Store?
It makes me wonder if maybe in other countries where there is availability of other stores, and
Okay,
then
but
people
I'm gonna think there's not much demand for this particular app outside of the United States.
I tend to agree with you, but I wonder if people here temporarily, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, but I agree with you. Yeah.
Mark?
Yeah, I suppose I agree with a lot of what Jeff said in terms of this being an information sharing platform, and double the comments on speed cameras and ways and warnings for speed traps and radar sightings on both of those apps. So I think in that regard, I think it's really is sort of a First Amendment right. I think the area where people get into trouble, and I think this is where the Attorney General is maybe too broad and trying to intimidate people, is knowing where it is and knowing, if you're illegal not to go to, a certain place. That's as far as I can tell, that's, there's absolutely no problem with that. I think where it comes into potential problems is if people use this app and they know that there are 6 ICE cars in a certain place, and they go down there and protest and start to interfere. I think at that point they're breaking the law and setting themselves up for potential legal trouble. But just sharing the information, I think that is totally fine. And I think it's sort of it's sort of a dumb, broad-based, stupid attack, on Apple and the app developer, because I think there's all sorts of ways that this information gets spread around, as well as, guess what? Everybody has phones and texts. So if you're really concerned, you send a text to somebody. So and if you're using iMessage, it's end-to-end encrypted. So I think there are all sorts of other ways around this, and I don't know anything about the developer, so I don't know if they, or he, she, they are making a political statement by releasing this. But if they are, I don't care. It's their First Amendment right.
Okay.
Text messages would in no way be a replacement for this. That would be a message that's sent to a particular person that you presumably already have to know. Whereas I believe this basically allows people in that area, so the app knows where you are and can say, oh, you don't have to know the person doing the report. In fact, you can't know who they are.
Right. That's a clarification. That's great clarification. I was saying that, I think a lot of other people will, if they see things, they'll have a social network, and they will text and communicate among themselves on how to be safe in their own city or town and local geography, if necessary.
Yeah, the chat room, in the chat room, Barry said Apple Maps warns of red light cameras and speed checks. Fair point. Lamp 1995 says apps like Waze are crowdsourced, relies on the user community to report speed traps, as well as a host of other information. And that these types of applications are protected by the First Amendment. And yes, I'm a big Waze user, no question about it. So I hadn't really thought about that from the standpoint of the crowdsourcing. I guess I was looking at it, and you guys are giving me something to think about here, because it may change my feelings on it. But it felt like this could be used to target ICE agents as opposed to avoiding ICE agents. And that's the part I really didn't like. That, you know, it felt like, okay, so we're gonna almost mobilize against the police. And that,
Well, you could say the same about Waze. There's a speed trap. We know there's a
Yeah.
cop there. Okay, have people mobilized and gone to attack a police car that's on the side of the road running radar?
Probably.
I've never heard of one, but I don't know. But you make a real good point, Jeff.
And veering close to the edge, but the police are not hiding. They're, in a speed trap. They're in a marked vehicle. They're not running around in unmarked vehicles and with masks on and whatnot. I think that's part of why people see the need for an app like this, because unidentified people are kidnapping people off the streets.
Brian?
Yeah, I agree most of which Jim had just mentioned. Although there are some areas in mind sometimes that the officers looking for speeders presumably are in unmarked cars, which, in my personal opinion, can lead to so many other dangerous aspects. But yeah, it is mostly marked cars. But yeah, sometimes they find those perfect places to hide behind large bushes or signage. But yeah.
But Jeff, you bring up a real good point and follow up to Brian's.
Sure. Yep. I've seen the unmarked speed trap cars around here as well, but the police in the cars running the radars are always in uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is why these discussions are good. Excuse me. These discussions are good, I think, but they're also, dangerous because they are potentially such inflammatory topics. So I appreciate everyone exercising restraint and making us all think a little bit about the issues here.
When I drive to Chicago this week, I'll be thinking about all this stuff. So,
but you're going to be thinking more about that freeze feature in FaceTime, aren't you?
not really. So,
Not when you're looking at this group. No.
Okay,
I'm a
that's
Teams
fair.
guy. I use Teams for everything. So go Microsoft. Rah, rah, rah.
And there's no freeze feature there. So
Yeah.
that's a selling
Yeah, there
point.
is. It just Teams freezes.
Yeah. And then Chuck kicks him off the call.
I was going to say, Web.
It doesn't need a reason to freeze. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I have an eject button here, Web.
Next.
Yes, next. Okay, so we're going to stay potentially in the political part, although I don't think this is quite as potentially inflammatory. But U.S. TikTok users may get this. The headline says will, but may get their own American-owned version of the app. And when I saw this, I felt like, what is the point? If it's still TikTok as the service, what difference does it make if it's an Americanized version of it, or if it's the one presented by the original developers? Am I missing something, Mark?
Yeah, it all depends what Americanized version means. If it's just simply run on American servers and provides the same service, I don't know if that is significant. If they cut down on some of the services or they cut down on information sharing, that might be a more Americanized version. That might be more palatable to the government. But I don't know that when Congress passed the law last year banning TikTok, I don't know if there were any escape provisions saying that unless they do A, B, and C, et cetera, that this app is banned. So I think we're in just completely unknown territory, and this smells like a trial balloon, actually.
Okay.
And how connected American TikTok it would be to international TikTok would have a lot to do with such an app's viability. If it is completely sandboxed within the United States,
No, it can't be.
I don't think it's going to go very far.
I think Ben, that's why I think it's more about maybe the data they collect and share. I think it's about that, because as you're saying, who knows, if the video is created in Texas or Argentina or France or the Philippines, just to pick some random places at random.
I agree, but if the Americanized version, and this is all rampant speculation here, folks, but if the Americanized version is running on servers that are not offshore, and if it is sandboxed off from the rest of the world, so that none of the information on the users or anything is being exported or mixed in with the rest of the world, I don't know if that would satisfy the government. I don't know what it would do to TikTok's algorithms, or what it would do to the popularity of it.
Also, there are two governments with a kind of opposing viewpoints that need to be satiated here. Because if the U.S. government gets what they want, Beijing is not going to be happy.
Well, that could be true, but until we know what it entails, I think it's premature to jump to a conclusion about unhappy or mildly happy or mildly upset. So this is there's many more questions about what this means that need to be answered, I think, before anybody can really say anything other than interesting idea. Let's see what it means.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any TikTok users here of any consequence?
I mean, I have an
Fine
account.
user. I see TikTok content reposted on YouTube,
Yeah.
but don't have a
Yeah.
TikTok account.
Right. Okay. Jeff, you waved your hand.
Yeah, I'm not posting on TikTok. That might change at some point. Who knows? But I'm on TikTok. There are several people that are friends and family that use it regularly, and it's a place that they're posting and where they will interact with me. So, yeah, I've got it, and it's. I don't think I'm the target market for it. However, I can see based on a lot of the content that just scrolls through when I'm looking that they're very good at targeting the content to users. So, yeah, I question if that would continue to be the case if we get the Americanized version. And I'm questioning if that's even a thing that's really going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have an account. I mean, I'm on it. I see it, watch stuff once in a while. I have posted stuff in the past for my show, just to see how it goes. But I'm not insanely active like some people I know.
So I'm curious for Jeff. Sorry, for Jeff and Dave. So you talk, Jeff, you especially, you talked about how well it targets. So do you feel like because of the things that you have done on TikTok that's where it's targeted, or do you feel like it has a broader perspective on you, maybe from other sources, and is trying to drag you in?
It feels to me like everything that it's targeting at me is based on my TikTok activity and the people that I follow.
Okay. I was curious to have that clarified. We're running down here, but there are two more I want to just touch on. This one has me a little baffled. Jack Dorsey just released a Bluetooth messaging app that doesn't need the internet. And it's in beta for now. It's called BitChat. And this seems to, if I am understanding it, he's calling it an experiment in Bluetooth mesh networks, relays, and store and forward models. So if I'm understanding what I've read about this, I can turn my Wi-Fi off. It doesn't even have to be a Wi-Fi network as long as I have Bluetooth turned on. And I have the client, you have the client, everybody in the immediate area has the client.
Didn't we have stuff like this several years ago? I mean, when I saw this, I was confused, and I should have done some homework, and yet I didn't. But it seems to me like many years ago, we had local social media interaction apps where everyone had Bluetooth, you're in the same place, and because you're within Bluetooth range, you can communicate with each other.
There were, but I don't think they were Bluetooth. I think you actually had to check into the site. But there were sort of local social media apps.
Okay.
On this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, think about oh shoot, I just lost it. Some of the check-in apps
Yes.
were that. I'm with you, Mark. I don't know if they were Bluetooth, but a lot of times if I checked in at the local pizza place, I could also see other people who have checked in and might be there around me. If I'm remembering correctly. So
there was a marketing, essentially a marketing app that you got points for checking in different places. But it seemed as if that was more of it was kind of from a social, app that you and your friends, because I know the gym that I went to had a place, had a check-in point, and then other stores and other restaurants around the town had check-in
there was
points
Swarm,
too.
And it was spun out from the one that it started with an F.
And
Foursquare.
Foursquare.
But did that use Bluetooth?
No, that was internet-based thing.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever done Bluetooth. I mean, I find this, technically amusing, but how about just talking?
Well, actually, I agree with Jim. It's an interesting experiment. But if this is going to scale, just think of how much traffic is going to be going over Bluetooth, which isn't designed.
Well, no, it can't scale.
Network.
It can't scale. I mean, Bluetooth.
Yeah.
You go into the next room and goodbye. So.
Okay, so not so fast though. Brian just found an article, and Brian, I'll let you introduce it, and then I'll throw it into the chat rooms.
Sure. Yeah, I was just reading the article that you had posted, and then I noticed that it was referencing that during the Hong Kong protesting movement, I guess, based on the article, I was trying to figure out the date. I guess in 2019, there was a Bluetooth app called Bridgefy, I believe it's pronounced. And it was started by a developer in San Francisco, and found that it became very, very successful, I guess, in Hong Kong, because the popular messaging app that they use there, WeChat, as the Chinese state control can look in on that in that communication. But I guess this uses it says here a mesh network, and I thought I saw the word Bluetooth in there too. Yeah, based on Bluetooth. Yeah, the range from phone to phone is within 330 feet. So I know just as much as this article is sharing there, but apparently, yeah, it's been used in the past.
And while I didn't see it as something for protesters, I could see it being maybe useful in a concert situation, or in maybe even a conference situation where you're in a building where the Wi-Fi, I mean, is just terrible, and you can't get any signal. But if you could set up a Bluetooth mesh network or be part of one, that it could facilitate communications inside that box. So I can see some very specialized, very specific use cases. Whether it'll catch on or not is another matter.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah. So interesting, and especially with Jack Dorsey bringing it out, that even makes it more interesting. Last one of the evening, and we try to end on with something humorous. I'm not sure if it's humorous or not, but I laughed. Napster is coming back, and it's betting big on holographic avatars.
So we're gonna have the ghost of Tupac. Was Napster trying to copy new MySpace?
Well, if you look at the picture in the article on the link I just posted, I mean, it looks like a little, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 times the size of a silver dollar circle that is going to be attached to the top of your laptop or the top of your monitor. That's going to show you a hologram of the person. And it's like, okay, this seems like a lot of trouble for not a lot of return. It's a 2.1-inch display for two-way 3D holographic video chats. Does a holographic video chat, is it going to be that much more valuable than just what we're doing now? And seeing you guys on a flat screen?
It's a lot more compact than a Vision Pro.
Yeah, but it's also not nearly as immersive, Jeff. So I come right back to it. Is this a product in search of a problem, or a solution in search of a problem?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's someone who had a cockamamie idea and also happened to own a once valuable brand.
And they're just spreading the AI peanut butter on it, and it's getting attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted to bring it up because I thought maybe I'm missing something, but I'm just not.
Since it's Napster, does that mean the face that I can have showing for other people is Chuck's? We can all pirate Chuck's face and use that.
I'll license it to you, Jeff.
Well, now it's Spotify, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I do have to bring this up. The fee for this is going to be $19 per month.
Oh gosh.
So
Yeah, no.
Has anybody ever paid for anything on Napster?
I think
the music
there's
service.
a medical term for that, and it's called effing nuts.
I don't. I don't get it.
There's a waiting list for the device, and there's no indication of what the price point on the device is going to be.
So Napster's really, the name is being used for brand recognition, not because it's really a Napster thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct.
I'm basing that on, Brian, what you shared in the private chat.
So I think this is just an LLM hallucination.
Nice.
Okay, good. Because I look at this and I think, I'm as tech nuts and as gear nuts as the rest of us, but I just don't see this. I don't see why I would purchase this. I could even understand if you were going to give me some kind of second little screen where I could move the window that I'm looking in on all of you on now to move it up on top of my monitor or off to the side or off to the other side or something and have it be dedicated. But I'm not sure that this is the best use of holographic technology at this point or any point. That's it for this evening. Anything else that anybody wants to bring up before we get out of here? I'll take that as a no. Thank you all for coming. Some interesting comments and some interesting articles and a few things that are just weird. So let's go around the room and let folks know where they can find you. And then at least some of us are off to MacStock. Brian Flanagan Arthurs, thank you for being here. I will see you in just a few days. Where can folks find you otherwise?
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to this week. And otherwise, you can find me. Best place to reach me is on my website, brian8944.com. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Ben Rathig, we're sorry you won't be joining us at MacStock, but maybe next year. Until then, though, where can folks find you?
Well, you can find me at Ben Rathig on your social media of choice. Since Blue Sky finally got post notifications, I'll be spending a little bit more time on that one. You can find my writings and ravings at rathigtech.com. I have a couple things almost ready that I have to get inspired enough to actually post. And you can occasionally find me on such podcasts as this one and the Mac Show on the British Tech Network.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you.
Yeah, Ewan's going to kill me for that one.
Yeah, and we will see you for the next 2 Tuesdays and hopefully more after that. Marty Jencius, I'm really looking forward to seeing you at MacStock, but also to meet your son as well, because you're going to do a presentation with him there. In the meantime, where can folks find you?
Folks can find me grading final exams for the next 12 hours. And if you want to get a hold of me, Jencius at mastodon.social and Jencius, that's Jencius, at bluesky.com. The projects that I'm involved with, you can find out on the podtalk.net, our website for those projects. Eric, Dave, and I do vision profiles on Monday nights at 9 p.m. And then, of course, here with you on Tuesdays and Thursdays with Dave on In Touch with iOS, and occasionally Friday mornings for the British Tech Network. But the Brits have taken it over.
It's Friday.
Yes.
Don't worry.
Revolution 2.0.
Eric Bolden, thank you for being here. You and your Baltimore Oriole. I do need to point out, though, that Baltimore is only about 40 or 50 miles that way. So some of the comments about the baseball didn't go down well here.
Well, yeah, we'll just kind of wash the comments out with the bathwater there.
Oh, God, that was terrible. Where can folks find you?
I can be found on Mastodon at EA Bolden at mas.to. And Mondays with Vision OS on Vision Profiles. Tuesdays, here for Mac OS Wonderment. And Thursdays for iOS, iPad OS on In Touch with iOS. So, otherwise, MacStock.
MacStock. We'll see you in a couple days.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. I look forward to seeing all of you in Apple hippie gear.
Don't hold your breath. Jim Ray, thank you for being here. Well, sorry you won't be making it to MacStock, but you made it to Cupertino for WWDC, so that was a pretty good substitute.
That's not unrelated. I can only do so many trips, and I did Dub, and I went to another conference. I mean, I would love to go to MacStock. I'm sure I'd have a fantastic time, and I'll be sad this weekend, but can only do so many trips.
Understood. Where can folks find you?
On Mastodon, ProView Jim, PROVUE, funny spelling, at techhub.social.
Perfect. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Jeff Gammett, I'll see you too in just a few days. In the meantime, where can folks connect with you?
Well, when I'm not busy getting all of my stuff ready for MacStock, you can find me on social media as Jay Gammett, and I'm active right now on Mastodon and Blue Sky and PixelFed. Then for shows, here on Tuesdays for MacVoices Live, Thursdays on Dave Ginsburg's In Touch with iOS, on the British Tech Network for The Big Show and The Mac Show. Brian Chaffin and I, we do The Context Machine, and Patrice Brendamore and I do Retro Rewatch.
Excellent. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Mark Fuccio, thank you for being here. I know you won't be at MacStock. You have a pretty good reason, though, if I remember correctly, if you want to share it. And if not, that's okay. You just have a good reason.
It's a wedding anniversary. So, it's got, domestic things take precedence.
Mark is a wise man.
And you've met my wife, so you know.
Well, what could be more romantic than Crystal Lake in July?
I've been there before, so priorities are a little.
Mark, it's hard to beat a Holiday Inn. Remember that. So.
Good point.
Yes, and Crystal Lake, Illinois, not Crystal Lake, New York. You don't want to have any romance near there.
Mark, since first of all, happy anniversary, and please tell your wife that we all send our best. Where can folks find you in the meantime?
I'm about 3 miles as the crow flies from the Apple headquarters, and that's quite a lot of territory. And you can find me on X at Mark Fuccio or at LinkedIn at Mark Fuccio, MarkFuccio.
Great. Thanks so much, Mark. Appreciate it.
Great time.
David Ginsburg, I'm so glad you got your Vision Pro restored and it's back in action, so you can bring it to MacStock and then tie me to a chair and shove it on my head. Where can folks find you?
Well, when you're not finding me at an Apple store getting a Vision Pro restored, you can find me at In Touch with iOS at intouchwithios.com. I'm on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/intouchwithios. I'm here on Tuesdays. I'm on the Vision Profiles on Monday nights with Eric and Marty. Also, our show is on Thursday nights, as well as occasionally on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network, as well as I'm on Mastodon and Blue Sky at DaveG65. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. We'll see you in a few days as well.
Yes, we will see you at MacStock.
Last but absolutely not least, driving to MacStock is Mr. Webb Bixby. Webb, I'm looking forward to seeing you as always. Where can folks find you?
I'm looking forward. It's kind of 8 hours of solitude for me just to kind of catch up on podcasts and enjoy the drive. But I'll be checking Blue Sky occasionally while I'm driving. That's Webb Bixby, WEBBIXBY at bluesky.com.
Great. Until then, and as always, thanks for watching.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.